Hi everyone, my name is Bernard Mead. I'm here to show you how to use the Research Cloud with Windows. To start with, we go to the NeCTAR website and click on Enter Cloud here to take us to the dashboard. Here we see the overview, which gives us the CPUs of the various machines that we're currently running, and you can see down here I have a demo already active at the moment. Now I'm going to go into show you what these tabs are for. The first one is credentials. We don't need to worry about that unless we're using Hybrid Fox or Yucca tools. The next one is instances. This shows us all of the running VMs, or if you like, computers in the cloud. We have also images, which are the templates. I'll explain some of these details here in a little while. The images tab shows us all of the images that we have available to us. The ones that have just launch are ones that are provided by the Research Cloud. The ones that have delete and edit and launch are ones that you've created yourself, snapshots. A snapshot, if I click on the snapshots tab, is a copy of your running computer that can be launched into a new VM. I'll show you a bit more about that as well. Key pairs. Here's where we create our key pair. Now you can import a key pair if you are aware of how to create one. Otherwise you can add a new key pair, which is what we'll do now. I'm going to give it a name and click add key pair. Now I will be prompted to save this file, which I must do in order to get this to work. This is the only opportunity I get to save this key pair. If I don't keep it now and put it in somewhere safe, I won't be able to access my VMs that are connected with, that are secured by this key pair. So I'm going to save this file. It's in my new key pair PIM. It's in my downloads directory, so I'm going to close that. Security groups. I need to create a security group. You can see here I've got one called Basic Rules, which is SSH and web access only. If I click Edit Rules, you can see what the protocols I've set up for. You don't have to use all these, but these are the ones that I'm using as the basic rules, which is what is described on the website, which is quite simply a matter of putting in the from port, to port, and this CIDR in this box here, and then add rule. The allocation request is where you complete a request to NeCTAR for more resources beyond the automatic 2-core allocation. So I'm going back to my snapshots, which has some images that I created myself. The one I'm interested in here is web to go, and I'm going to click launch. I'm going to type in a name, and I'm going to put in a user that I'm going to send through, but this user data is sent into my VM, so I can actually pass a username and password, which is what I want to do. This way I know that the system will be secure. I can choose a flavor from here. In this particular instance I've already got one VM running and I only have a 2-core allocation, so I can only choose a 1-core. It would tell me if I tried to choose more than I have available. Here I can choose those keys that I was going to use, a new key pair. So I'll choose that one, and I'll choose my security group and click Launch Instance. Now this shows me the instances that I have running. As I showed before, this is one I ran earlier. This is the one I have just created. And if I click on Auto Refresh in the corner here, this will update automatically. Now this gives me the ID of the machine, this gives me the name. Here is the key pair, so that I know which key I'm supposed to be using to access it. These are the rules. I don't have to have both of them. I could have deleted that one if I wanted to. The image needs to be present if you want to create your own snapshot, which is done down here. This is the IP. The system says it's active now. So the IP, it actually takes a couple of seconds, or 20 seconds or so, to start up the actual image. So even though it says active, it may not be started yet. We can copy that IP into the clipboard, and then we can start a new tab and paste the IP in, that comes up when the machine hasn't completed starting, but if I hit refresh it will start. It's fairly soon. I just jumped in a little bit too quickly there. And I can click on WordPress and it'll let me set up a WordPress site or a MediaWiki site, which is already up and running, and I've also got PHP My Admin, so I can jump into that as well. And if I go to root here, it'll actually use the password that I sent through. And you can see from the databases that I've got MediaWiki and WordPress in there. And I can add in more as well. Now the thing I need to do now is start up Putty. So I'm going to bring in Putty, and I'm going to use the IP that I've just been given. And I will actually, I have to go into PuttyGen. This little program here will allow me to take in my, if I load up the key that I downloaded, I go to downloads and I look for all files and new key pen, open, and it'll tell me that it's successfully imported. I click OK, and then I can save private key, and I'm going to save it without a passphrase, and I'll just call it new key pair, and it'll save it with a PK, I think it is the extension. So that's all I need that one for. But in here I've put in the IP, I go into SSH, authority, and I need to tell it what key I'm going to use. I'm going to browse, and none of those. It must be in my downloads folder. New key pair, open. Now there's something else I'm going to do as well. I'm going to go into X11 and tell it to enable forwarding, and I want it to forward to my local machine that I'm running on at the moment, localhost:0, which will mean that I can open up Windows locally. And if I click open there, I'll get this prompt telling me that this is the first time I've connected to that IP. Now if I launch another VM and I'm using the same IP, I'll get a different message here saying that it's a different IP, but this machine's been connected to before. So as long as I'm happy that it's not a security breach, I can click yes. I log in as Ubuntu, and then I have my machine I'm connected to. So now, if I want to run something like xclock, I'll probably get an error now because I don't have the xming running. I'll just wait and see. Okay, can't open the display on the local host, so what I need to do is just go to my start, type in xming, and run that. I now have xming running. So if I run xclock, I can run in the background. Again, I will find very quickly my xclock has launched, which I can just close off. And I can launch any kind of X window. I can send that to my local machine. And exit to leave. Thank you very much.